when you're not operating in your purpose, you're not going to do what is necessary or what is required. It's a difference in
That's
working out because you have to versus working out because you're passionate about it.
True.
Welcome to Vulnerability Muscle, the inspiring podcast challenging norms and helping you redefine vulnerability as a strength. I'm your host, Reggie D. Ford. Each episode of Vulnerability Muscle dives into a variety of topics such as mental health, social issues, and mindset shifts. We explore the power of vulnerability and fostering meaningful connections, healing, building resilience, and promoting personal growth. Sometimes these conversations are uncomfortable, but good workouts often are. So join us and flex that vulnerability muscle.
Welcome to this episode of Vulnerability Muscle. I'm your host, Reggie D. Ford. And today I got a friend, a brother with me, Dr. Brandon Haskins.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to read this bio because it's just, I got to highlight my brother, man. Dr. Brandon P. Haskins is a dedicated educator, consultant, and advocate for student success. As the founder of Branded Consultant, Dr. Haskins leverages expertise in student engagement, leadership development, and success coaching to empower individuals and organizations.
Yes.
With a background in higher education, student leadership and development, and mental health advocacy, Dr. Haskins is committed to fostering belonging, resilience, and growth. Let's go.
Let's go.
A proud leader, educator, and mentor for over a decade, Dr. Haskins is a champion for student success and community impact.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good dude.
Hey, it sounds like a great dude. Sound like a dude we need in front of our students.
Yeah.
Leading
absolutely.
people who are leading our students.
Yes.
Like, oh man, how's your heart today, man?
Man, my heart is grateful. I woke up in a very gratitude position. I don't know if I told you, but we're expecting our third child.
Congrats. Congrats.
So I'm in a very weird space, but it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years since we opened the shop back up.
Wow.
So we're having our third one. So that it'll be a big gap, but I'm very grateful, man.
Yeah.
New life, new career. Man.
It'll keep you young too.
Absolutely. I realize I'll have college students in my house for the rest of my life. So I'll be 50, feeding college students.
That's what's up,
That's
though.
something I look forward to. So
That's beautiful to hear.
Yeah.
That's beautiful to hear because, just knowing you and the family man that you are and the heart that you give, you're going to pour into all the kids and let them, oh, man, that's beautiful.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Before we dive deeper into your story, I want to do a segment we call What Comes to Mind.
Okay.
And so you tell me what the first thing you think of is, and we've got 3 questions.
Okay.
Should be simple, but let's go. What comes to mind when you hear the word vulnerability?
Open heart.
Let's go.
Yikes.
I like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What is something you do to relax if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed?
This is going to be weird and different. If I feel stressed and overwhelmed, I like to go out with people.
Okay.
People engagement is one of my, it's something that gets me calm and keeps me going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a people guy, so I like to
Why'd
be
you say
around.
that would be weird?
Because most people, when you hear like what's something you do to calm down, it's like isolation. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be isolated. Put me in with the people. Even if I just go and sit around a bunch of strangers, like I'll still
Coffee
feel,
shop vibe type of stuff.
Yep.
I like that. No, I think that speaks. You're an extrovert. I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
So I think that speaks to that. Like it sounds like for me, I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
And so my time, and we talk about this. Like my time is like I'm isolated. Even from family, like I don't want to hear nothing. I just want to be in nature. I want to walk the dog and hear the birds chirping. But like that's good to know. Like it's good to know about yourself too, and then be able to communicate to people. So it's dope. And the last one, you may have to think a little bit on this one, but what is one of your favorite childhood memories?
Whoa. Wow. I cannot stand you, Reggie. Childhood. Let's think on good. Okay, one of my favorite childhood memories. I would say one of my favorite childhood memories, doesn't matter the age.
No.
So I think one of my favorite childhood memories was graduating high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were 17 when you graduated high school?
Yep.
Okay, I was gonna qualify
17. I was like,
wait, we need under
there has
18.
to be
Okay, no, that's
yeah.
what's up.
I was 17, but I think my senior year was like one of the best years of my entire childhood. Like it compensated for all the pain and the struggle that I went through, and it gave me that platform, that sounding board to just jump off, and I became my own man after that.
Yeah.
So I came to Nashville that summer. Went to Tennessee State University. I never looked back. So for me, it was like putting the past behind me and really just taking that next step to life. So
yeah.
now I've had to, now that I'm in my adult phase, I'm a father, 30, well, be 33 in July. I've had to go back and unpack the childhood, but I think the best moment in my childhood was graduating high school.
That's dope. That's a huge moment too.
Yeah.
That's a huge moment. Like I remember my graduation, and it was a proud moment because I want to say like it was one of the first moments for me where my family, really like the extended family too, got to come on campus at MBA at Montgomery Bell Academy, which was worlds away from where they knew about and where I grew up. Yeah. And it was just like, okay, we all up here. I had my 2009 glasses on. I was like, it was a fun time. Yeah. So man, graduation is a beautiful time of year. So I'm curious. And if you said open heart, like that's what vulnerability means to you. Is do you feel like opening your heart a little bit today?
I don't mind.
You don't mind? Yeah. So I think it's negativity bias is real, right? And we all deal with it. It's like the survival mechanism that makes us remember the negative things more than the positive things. It's like, so when I asked you that question about your favorite childhood memory, you were like, all right, let's focus on good. What was coming up for you?
On the opposite side of that? Yeah. The memories of actually being a kid and wanting to just be a kid and couldn't be the kid. So realizing like all of the hurdles that a kid should not have to go through, right? And for me, even though there were good moments, the bad outweighed the good. And so for me, it was like, that could be, no, that couldn't be. That could be, no, and that can't be. And so it's like, what was something that I didn't have to work too hard for, but was actually a really good moment in my life that I could really just say, this was freedom, like liberating, like I didn't care who was there. I didn't care. I had promises of people showing up to graduation, but I didn't care. That was the one time in my life, in my childhood, that I could say I was like, man, I feel good. Like I love who I am. I love who I'm becoming. And so let's move on. So, but for me, it was a lot of the hurdles that I had to jump over just being a kid. And that sucks. Yeah. So.
Having to grow up so fast, and sounds like there was some performative love that was received. Like I have to achieve to be loved or feel that. And like, I know that so well. Yeah. And unfortunately.
Or even having to prove it to yourself that you can do it because you don't have nobody there to encourage you and tell you that you can do it. That was one of the biggest struggles that I faced, was like that self-efficacy piece. Like, Brandon, you can do this. But realizing like, man, I'm in the thick of it. And it's interesting now that I'm being vulnerable in this moment, that when I go back and talk to when I'm talking to my daughter, about certain things in class, like she didn't have, what she has, I didn't have. Yeah. So it's just so, and not just my daughter, my son as well, like when we're going over problems, math problems or reading books, like I didn't have a parent to tell me, hey, you need to go do this, or hey, you need to pay attention in class, or hey, let me help you learn this math. I didn't have that. So growing up, I had to learn to get it on my own. Right. And that just was, that's not, I don't think kids should, that's not fair to kids.
No, that's real. That's real. Like, I mean, we have basic needs, and I think that guidance and that nurturing is a basic need that we all have. And so, but you, like, I think in even hearing you think back through some of the memories of like, I could start here. Oh, nope. And then there's good and bad. There's duality to a lot of those memories, and there's some resilience that has been built in you, and it carries you to Tennessee State University.
Yeah.
Like, shout out. Let's go.
I love my alma mater, the land of golden sunshine.
Hey, let's go. Tell me about what that because high school was a rebirth and a finding, knowing who you were, loving who you were.
Yeah.
What did it feel like to step foot on campus, and what was TSU like?
Okay, so the backstory to stepping foot on campus at TSU, I went to their summer camp at TSU, Organization of Black Airline Pilots, OBAP. Okay. And I wanted to be a private pilot. They took us there in 8th grade, or was it 8th? I think it was 8th grade. They took us there. We did a summer camp, and I got bit by a spider in the apartments.
Oh.
So I always say, like, I'm like Spider-Man, right? I got bit by the bug, and it was a big, big whelp on my thigh, man. And I remember that vividly. I remember going to the campus. First of all, when you arrived at TSU's campus, if you've never been to 3500 Johnny Merritt Boulevard, it's beautiful, dog. Like, especially when the sun is shining, it hits right above the campus, the heart of the campus. That's why the land of golden sunshine. You walk on the campus, the greenery. It was like I went to see the Wiz. It was very beautiful. But that was the most impactful moment in my upbringing. And I remember, man, when I stepped foot on the campus that summer going into my freshman year, bro, I was like, I've arrived.
Let's go.
Like, let's do this. I had a sense of empowerment, a sense of just like pride. Everybody disliked me because I was so extroverted and was like, I'm the spirit leader. Yeah. I'm doing all the chants. I'm getting all my classmates. And so funny thing was, at the time, well, I didn't know she was there, but at the time, my wife, who was just a freshman as well, she was like, I did not like you. You was just so extra. I remember you. You was leading all the chants. You was trying to get us and direct us and was like, who is this person? I thought you were an upperclassman. I was like, wow. No, I was just excited to be.
That's what's up.
In my purpose, being where I was supposed to be. And from that moment on, I transcended like a butterfly, bro.
Man.
Like, it was so beautiful. Like, the experience at Tennessee State University was like none other.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. It grew me, it stretched me, it developed me. And I believe a lot of who I am today is because of the experience that I had at TSU, not just in undergrad, but when I got my master's and when I started working there professionally. All those years that I have on that campus created who you're looking at today.
Let's go.
Aside with God, of course, I have to, my super spiritual saints. But I really do appreciate what I learned there.
Wow.
It was great. It was a great time.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. I can feel it. Like, I can feel the energy and understand it. Like, that's funny, though, that your wife was like, nah, I ain't like you at the time.
I did not like you. It was so funny. I was like, why? When you're going back and listening to or rethinking, rehashing out the past, you're like, I don't even remember seeing you.
Yeah.
And I was like, how
did you have an opinion about me when I don't even remember you?
I don't even know. I didn't even know who you were. I was just doing if everybody that knew me and still knows me.
No, rephrase that. Everybody knew me.
Oh yeah, keyword. Everybody knew me. Everybody was like, yo, they could count on me to lead the chants. I was always the first one. Hey, gang. I was always the first one, like, just leading my peers.
That's
like,
what's up.
And it was for a good thing, good cause, but ultimately I graduated.
Yeah.
So
that's important.
And I received my terminal degree is from Trevecca.
Okay.
So my doctor's from Trevecca Nazarene, but I went to TSU for my bachelor's and my master's.
Nice.
And
were you always studying for education, like to become the doctor that you were? Did you know that?
No. So funny thing was, I remember watching Lean on Me in high school, and I said I want to be a Joe Clark, and that was like.
Because now I can't even see that movie the same. Because the voiceover, the dude from Memphis who does the voiceovers. He does so many voiceovers of that movie. I don't know what his name is, but funny man out there who does the voiceovers of Lean on Me. Man, I can't even think of that movie the same. But go ahead.
I love that. I love that movie, man. But it played on my heartstring of providing students a safe space.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, in high school, I was part of DECA. Which is a marketing association for high school students. So you learn all the ins and outs of marketing. You go to national competitions, pitching, business ideas, things of that nature. So I was a part of that. And then I was also a part of minority teacher recruitment. And so that was another program that actually afforded me to come to TSU because I ended up not taking the aviation route. But I ended up So I came to MTRP they awarded me a $20,000 scholarship. And so I got that to come to TSU. And that $20,000 was beautiful because that was $20,000 over 4 years. And so I had that scholarship and I was going to come for education, but then I was like, I don't know, my heart is really into theater. Like that's, where my passion was. So I started off hitting the ground running and as a theater major. And I had one conversation with my great aunt and she was like, you ain't gonna make no money. You gonna end up homeless, sleeping in your car. And that scared the crap out of me because here I am, family adopted, growing up in a family adopted home. And I'm like, anything that resembles that struggle, I'm good. So as soon as she told me that, I ran out of the theater department. I changed my major that semester to mass communication. But for some reason, it still didn't feel complete. But I did it because it still allowed me a career path. Yeah. And it still utilized those theatrical abilities that I had. Okay. So the career path at that time was to have my own radio talk show. Okay. So I started off with that. I can see that. Yeah. We had a gospel radio show called The Altar Call. We had that. And then I was just doing a lot of the news broadcasting on campus. So that was cool. So I was still, doing things. But I realized my senior year, it's like I did all of that. And I don't have a job lined up.
Ain't that a hard reality?
And that reality set in so fast because I graduated in May and went to K&G the next day, and that's where I was working for another year.
Which is fashion,
retail.
Yeah, retail.
And I was like, this dude with a bachelor's degree from Louisville, Kentucky, high in his class, but you're working at.
Man.
So I realized that there was a lot of things that I missed. I didn't utilize all of the opportunities that were there. I couldn't blame TSU because they set me up and they gave me the foundation, but
you was too busy cheering.
No, yeah. And I did a lot of stuff, but I also, when you're not operating in your purpose, you're not going to do what is necessary or what is required. It's a difference in working out because you have to versus working out because you're passionate about it.
True.
Right? And so I was in that phase of like, I got to get through this class. So I'm going to just do the bare minimum to knock off, to get my grades, make sure I'm maintaining my GPA, keep my scholarship. But in comparison to the person that was actually there in purpose, they're doing the internships. They have their acting reel. They have their reels. They have everything that they need, the package that they need to graduate. I didn't have a package.
Wow.
So I realized ultimately, Brandon, you're not in your field where God called you to be. So what you gonna do about that?
Wow.
So I went to the drawing board.
You were at K&G. Because there's overlap in our stories. Because when you got introduced in the 8th grade to TSU's campus, and it was like you got bit by the bug, and like you were like, oh man, this opened my eyes to a beautiful campus, a beautiful place to go. And that's similar. Like I was 10 years old and got to play in the All-Star game at Vanderbilt, and I got to meet players. I got to tour the campus, and it was like. When those young moments when you don't get those experiences often, like they have a huge imprint on who you become. And then fast forward, like I was the same. I studied econ, but got to my senior year, I'm like, bro, I got a great GPA. I've got extracurricular. Like I've done a lot of stuff, but yet like the opportunities weren't there. Yeah. And so it led me back to school, and it sounds like that was part of when you went back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I went back to the drawing board because I said, well, mind you, we just got married. So in the process, I met my wife.
When did she switch from not liking you to then saying yes?
I'm going to just be real, and she going to see this. I think she liked me. That's why she said that. But, let her tell it I stalked her. Let her tell it I chased her down, which I did chase her at some point. But, October 10th, 2011, she said, I'll be your girlfriend. So it was a beautiful moment. We have a really, really good bond. Yeah. But meeting her, and then we got married right after we graduated. So that was beautiful. She was in the same major, same class. Nice. So I believe there was a reason why I switched my major to mass comm, because we ended up taking appreciation of drama together. And that was when I became infatuated with her. And it was just like, wow, she was acting as Wendy Williams. But anywho, enough about that. We could talk about that later. But I realized, like, okay, wait, we're married. There's what's going on, because I can't K&G, like, no shade to anybody that works in retail, but I just have a different type of ambition and motivation behind me. So this this wasn't the end of me, end of my story. So I went back to the drawing board, and that's when I said, okay, all right, let's do it. Education. So I went back, got my master's of education. And at the time, I was confused because I didn't know if I wanted to do K-12. Then I was introduced to the world of higher education. So I'm like, I don't really know which route to go. So it sounds like it's better to take the higher education route. K-12 seems a little bit more difficult. I got to go back and get some certifications, got to go do all these things. And I don't think I was as committed to education to go back to do that. So I went the higher ed route. And that's when I landed my first gig at TSU in 2015. And so from that moment on, like I was at TSU in higher education, still leading chants, but I was the professional now. I was on the opposite side of the field and just leading students to their success. So coaching students and helping them not to make those same mistakes that I made, you know? And then helping them overcome those barriers that do come and arise. And so that's where, you know, that student engagement and success and retention, all of that came into play.
Yeah. What were some of those barriers that you noticed with your own story, but then with some of the students that you worked with as well?
So persistence is one of the biggest things. Like, it's like working out, right? You know, you working out, you're on that you're in that second set and you're on that third rep and you have to get to 12 and you're starting to feel that burn because it's different than when you did the first set. But that second set, I always tell people, if you can get through that second set, you good. Because then that last set, you got to get it out. But that second set and you're on that third rep and you feel that resistance.
Wow.
But it's like, it's in that moment that your muscles are actually really doing what they need to do to develop and strengthen. So what if you kept going? What if you kept going? You will appreciate it in the end. And that persistence is what students face. Like that struggle, that ambiguity in their mind saying, you know, I feel this resistance. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. You know, me and my professors we're butting heads. This paper, they're asking me to write a 10-page paper for something I'll never use again in my life. But what if you just did it?
Yeah.
What if you utilized the resources that was right in front of you that you knew nothing about because you was just so laser focused? But what if you just did it?
Yeah.
But most students can't get there because they don't have nobody there in front of them pushing them. And so that was what my role was, being a first-time freshman coach for those students who never been introduced to college.
Yeah.
Their family.
Yeah.
Their biological mom and dad did not graduate from an institution.
Right.
So
and for reference, like TSU is a HBCU, historically black college and university. And so that comes with families who may not have had that experience to lead them that way. And so to have somebody like you on campus coaching, that's beautiful.
And there were 8 of us at the time, and some of us came from great places, great backgrounds, 2-parent household. I had one colleague, her dad was the president of MT. So, you know, you have that, but we all had the same mission to see students succeed and to push them. And I think, you know, once students realize like, oh, I can do this, because there comes a point in their career, the belonging is that freshman year. They just want to make sure they have a sense of belonging, that the money that they're spending, the time away from home, disconnecting from childhood friends and recreating new relationships, you know, going through the financial aid process that every college student goes through, you know, they want to make sure that all of that is worth it. But once I get through that, am I really capable of doing this?
So the belonging comes first. I got to feel like this is the place for me with the sacrifices that I'm making with my life. There are opportunity costs. I could go out and do 100 other things. And I chose to come here. I chose to go through this process. And how do you create that sense of belonging? How do teachers, how do educators, how do institutions create that sense of belonging for people who may have a difficult time?
So for me, I would say the biggest piece is to give the students, understand you're a student, right? Every student has a different profile. I learned this, and me and my wife was talking about this week. No child is parented the same. We had 2 kids. And even though our foundation and our principles are the same, the way that I talk to my son is completely different than the way I talk to my daughter. And actually, it's very interesting because it's opposite. I'm very aggressive. Well, not aggressive, that's not the right word, but I'm very stern and strict with my daughter.
She's older.
She's older. But with my son, I'm more passionate, and I change the way that, because I don't want him to see me as the aggressor. However, my wife is very stern with my son, and with my daughter, she's very passionate and shows that love. And it's a balance. And I know some people may not agree with it, but I believe that it's built that foundation of respect for adults, respect for their peers. And my babies, I love them. They're great.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not perfect. We're not perfect, but I can say that their development is really, really well. And so that's what I'll say is like creating that sense of belonging for students is understanding who they are. And then positioning them and telling them, hey, did you hear about this resource? Because there's so many resources on campus that students, whether you are at Vanderbilt or whether you're at Tennessee State, there's a plethora of opportunities for engagement, opportunities for belonging, opportunities for mental health. There's so many resources available, but students just don't take advantage of it because they don't know about it. So we who are the professionals have to introduce them to it. And that's where, for me, it became easier to create that sense of belonging by saying, hey, here's this organization for you. You know, go over there. I see leadership abilities, so you should look into Student Government Association. And before you know it, within a few weeks, these students coming in telling me, hey, can you come to my event? Or can you write this recommendation letter for me? And I'm like, wait, pause. Just last week you was crying in my office talking about, I don't know if I can do this.
I'm going home.
I'm going home. And now all of a sudden you want to stay. Wow. Okay, great. Let's stay. Now let's get over these midterms. Let's talk about midterm grades. And so it's just a beautiful cycle, whether you're working with freshmen, sophomore, juniors, or graduate students. I've just enjoyed seeing students take ownership of their education, no matter what stage that they're in, but also take ownership and then push forward. And if we could just get students to push forward, one push is all you need, because then they'll fly. Yeah,
it's inertia. You got to get that ball rolling, and then that momentum catches up, and it's a go. Where are we missing the mark? Whether it be in higher ed or even from your experience earlier on, from that K through 12, like where are we missing the mark in helping students build that resilience, build that persistence, so that they can push a little bit further?
So,
and I know that's a loaded question.
It's a very loaded question, so I'm going to choose my words wisely. And I think we all can answer this question.
You getting nervous? You getting nervous?
I honestly think we could all answer this question is stop boxing our kids in. They're not robots. They are smart. Not all students are going to go the STEM route. We have a lot of creatives. So if we stop boxing students in and allow them the freedom of expression so that we as adults can say, oh, okay, you're skilled there. So let me direct you. Then I think it'll be easier. I think I speak about this often. I have working in certain situations that I've worked in the past, education has felt like prison.
Speak on that.
And when you realize that there is an alternative agenda for the prison to pipeline, from school to prison pipeline, when you realize that there's that alternative agenda, I want to be the one to push back against that. There's no way that my child should go to school and feel like that they're in jail.
How does that present? What to somebody who does not know what that means?
Now, for hindsight 2020, my kids don't feel like they go to jail. But in situations that I've been in the past, you don't have the adequate resources to maintain the building. You don't have the adequate resources for proper food. Your students are coming to school, doors are closing, slamming shut right behind them, which sounds like a jail cell. We don't have the liberty or the freedom in our processes of how we structure the day. So our students are constantly asked to sit in this 4x4 classroom or 5x5 classroom with no movement. That's unrealistic. We are dealing with a generation that suffered through COVID, who their brain can't focus and just sitting still for 45 minutes. They have to have movement, especially our boys. We have to engage them in movement. So when we tell them to sit still, or when we tell our girls to crisscross applesauce, hands in your lap, it's like, okay, for 10 minutes, yes, only. But it shouldn't go beyond that because our kids need to move. Or when you penalize students and you give them the office referrals and you give them certain things and making them feel like, okay, well, all I did was just speak out of turn. It's like, no, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's restore their behavior. Or kids who do fight in school, instead of suspending them and kicking them out of school, is there some type of restorative justice program?
What does restorative justice look like in schools?
So there's a few organizations, honestly, and one in particular that I really enjoy is called Be Well in Schools.
Yeah.
I love Be Well in Schools. They really focus on positive restoration of student behavior. So it's
Shout out to Ricky.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of them. Boots, I know Boots, so he's on their board. But they really do a great job at putting someone in the school to focus on students with those behavior concerns instead of kicking our kids out of school, because we don't. When you kick them out of school and suspend them, you're basically throwing them to the wolves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's not fair.
Yeah,
but because clearly there's a disconnect, either where it's disconnect at home or it's a disconnect here at school. Maybe this is their platform to show you who they are, and they need help to identify and recorrect that.
Yeah,
but because we have so many different weird systems in place from the top down, we don't have those professionals that are dedicated to those moments. Not everybody wants to deal with students with behavior issues. Everybody wants everybody to walk the straight and narrow line. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
So for me, I would like to see Be Well in Schools all over the place, because that gives dedicated professionals, put them in place and things of that nature. But it's just, I think when we go back to the question of like where are we missing the mark, is like we box our students in and we expect them all to go on this one path. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, there's multiple ways.
We have, like you said it, like every kid is smart. And I like to say genius, because genius is like every kid has genius. Every person has genius. And like whether it is in the way that they're able to move, communicate, in the way that they're able to make other people feel, in the way they create stuff. Like it may not look like what we direct people toward when it comes to STEM, when it comes to education, get this degree and then this. It doesn't look like that for everybody, but that doesn't mean, like what's the quote? It's like everybody has genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll always feel like it's stupid.
Yeah,
like.
It's not gonna
that fish ain't never gonna climb that tree.
It's not purpose to do
right.
that.
It's not gonna do that. And so like it's like what how can we, one, going back to know your students, know those kids around you, to then be able to recognize that you got leadership ability. You have this ability to communicate and make people feel loved and welcome. Like that's powerful. Yeah. And then direct them in that direction as opposed to another. And I love what you said about like the school to prison pipeline, because there is so many small nuances that we integrate into our schools that feel like that, especially in our public schools that are underfunded, that treat kids as if they are criminal because they are behaving, when you say we need movement. We have developing brains that don't truly understand what we're trying to communicate, so it comes out with flipping this table over. It's a matter of expressing ourselves when we don't have the words. And so like I love that, and I love that you are in a position to one, help students, but also help with your consulting practice, branded consulting. Can you tell the listeners what you do with branded consulting and how that helps some of the issues that we see in education?
Absolutely. So with branded consulting, the focus is to really just come in and really streamline processes, and how do we positively impact student engagement? How do we make sure that we're not missing the mark or we're not excluding certain kids? But on the flip side, the more, what I enjoy the most is the coaching aspect. I've recognized that a lot of juniors and seniors and those first-time freshmen and sophomores, one of the biggest issues that I had when I was working at Tennessee State was I was encountering freshmen who knew nothing about college but was in college. You just paid a $40,000 bill as
when you put it like
18-year-old, and you know nothing about, but because the pressure of society, the pressure of family, the pressure of I don't want to go back home, whatever their circumstances is, they want to get away from home. You have all these things in place. And so because somebody missed the mark, that guidance counselor, whoever, I'm not going to blame nobody, somebody missed the mark and didn't engage that student and prepare them for where they were headed. So with branded consulting, it's my goal to engage that student, whether they're a junior or senior, or they're a first year or second year student in college.
When you say junior, senior, high school.
High school, or first or second year of college, engage those sets of students to say, hey, is this the right track? Is this the right track that you really want to go down? Here are not trying to scare you, but let me expose you to what real college looks like. But also, let me expose you to some career and technical trades that are out there.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is meant to go to college.
Right.
And when you really think about it, a lot of the once you're enrolled into a university, their number one priority is to get you to graduation in 4 years, 5 years if you're an engineer major. Okay. So if that is my number one goal, I'm not going to talk you out of it because I want you to pay me that money every year because I need that money every year. So the goal is to get you to that 4 year, but not realizing like what happens if a student gets to that second year and they realize this is not for me.
Yeah.
What I've seen in the past are professionals that are saying, oh, yeah, but no, you should stick with it. You should stick with this. Maybe it's just, no, they shouldn't stick with it. Because now what we don't realize that happens is that student gets to that fourth year and they have a 1.0 or a 0.0, and that does not do anything positive for the student nor for the university. So we've wasted 4 years of that child's life. What if we can get that time back? What if we could prevent them from wasting a $40,000 bill, go get a 2-year associate degree, or go get a 1-year certificate, and then they're in their field of where they're supposed to be. Yeah. And if later in life they want to come back, they've been developed, they've had the career experience, they know exactly what track they want. Yeah. So the whole point of branded consulting is to expose expose students to the right track for life.
Wow.
Whatever that is for them, whether it's a career and technical trade or if it's a 2-year or 4-year institution. Yeah. The goal is to expose you there. And work with the families as well to because a lot of families aren't receptive to that. That's not an easy conversation. When you sit down with a family and just say, "Hey, I know your child was the valedictorian at Hume Fogg. However, this valedictorian is destined for a different field. They're not destined for a 4-year institution. They're not ready for that pressure. So let's give them another opportunity."
How do you assess a child or a group of students to be able to address the individual needs of those that you are working with?
So for me, it's through a consultation, of course, but I want to engage the family. But then aside from the family, it's not a one-on-one conversation with the child. Okay. Because I want to know what excites you, what motivates you. Is this really what you want to do? It's through an intrusive conversation because we have to get to the meat of it. It's not the fluff. I don't want you dreaming. I want to know exactly what's in your heart because if you have a village that is behind you that is saying, we're going to push you at 100 miles per hour, whether you go to college or whether you go to and pick up this certificate. Yeah. So I don't want you to feel that pressure and realize I can't do this because then it's going to be really hard for you to take it back. Yeah. So if I can engage you now, right? And I have that one-on-one conversation and you tell me that I don't know what exactly I want to do, then I'm going to provide you this coaching. So I'm creating a coaching camp. And in this coaching camp that's when the student themselves will realize what track is for me. Right. And then after that coaching camp, it's going to be a 5-week intensive. But after that 5-week intensive, then we have the one-on-one aspect of it. That's the curricular extra coaching. Because at the end of the day, I'm coaching you through it. Yeah. If you say that this is the route you go, then we're gonna do it. But if you say this is the route you want, then we're gonna do that. Wow. And giving the student the ability to change, because that's the other issue. There's no contract here. There's no contract that says I am going to go to a 4-year college and I have to follow that. No. If you realize you get to that first year, that's why I said first and second year. Because after that second year, you're integrated into your major. So it's best to stay. Or it's best to go ahead and figure out what other alternatives are there after that second year. And then also engaging athletes. That's the other piece of it. Because a lot of athletes, their number one goal is to play college football so they can get in the pro, they get in the league. Not everybody makes it. No. So if I can engage you, and have that conversation to say, what are other alternatives outside of just sports? What is something else that you're interested in? Then we won't have a quarterback who doesn't make it to the NFL league, graduating high school, and working at McDonald's.
Yeah. Ooh, we got too much of that.
It's too much of that. No shade to McDonald's. Because I love the hot spicy McChicken with cheese, and add mac sauce. That's a good recipe. You should.
No, that makes a lot of sense because I know. I mean, like to your point, I knew that education was going to be my key out. So NFL, while it was a hoop dream at one point, like I wanted it, it was something. But like like I knew that for me, education was gonna be the route. But I see so many people, so many student athletes come into college or even before college, all they know is I'm getting to the league.
Yep.
I'm getting to the league. Not like you're a DB that runs a 4.8. Like you're not. Like you're not. Let's be real.
You won't.
You're not.
I'm sorry.
Can we be real with some of these students?
You gotta be
sometimes
number one.
as a community, like I'm gonna be real, like our community, we put way more effort into sports. I was talking about this with J-Matt, and Jordan Matthews plays in the NFL, and like it's a lottery, right? When you hit the jackpot with what your body can do and what your body looks like, and like that is a rare specimen that makes it to that next level. If you don't have certain things just there, then it's going to be very difficult. And we put so much time and effort on basketball and football. And it's like, what if we put that same amount of time toward theater, toward track, not track, that's another sport, dang. But toward, STEM and medicine and engineering and all these other things. It's like, oh, then we see the benefits of that work and that perseverance through that. And so, like I think I love what you're doing. Because it sounds like 4-year colleges are not necessarily, well, I don't know, may not necessarily be a fan of the work that you do. And you said sometimes parents don't like it because they have this idea and expectation for their kid. So who is your ideal client? Who hires you?
Families who their child cannot honestly say what their route is. If you are at graduation, and everybody knows this question. What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? If you can't adequately answer what's next and confidently say, this is my track and this is my plan, then you're my client.
Okay, I like that.
You're my client.
I like that.
Because a lot of times when I sit down, and in the past when I've sat down with freshmen and I ask them first day of college, so what's the plan? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your major? I'm undecided.
Which is common.
Which is very common.
Yeah.
But be undecided with a plan. I want to explore this. I want to explore that. Not undecided with, I don't know.
I like that.
And I tell my kids all the time, I don't know is not an answer. You know, you just have to be honest with me and just say, I don't want to do this, or I'm not feeling this, and I'm here. I can do a lot with that.
Okay.
But I can't do anything with I don't know. And then you're just...
Yeah.
And because COVID impacted this generation in ways that a lot of us don't understand. I challenge all the listeners to look up the COVID brain. The COVID brain, which is what the Gen X, Gen Z, whatever generation the title is dealing with. It's almost, the brain looks almost identical to an addict's brain because they suffered so much of just the screen. It was just all screen. They were learning through virtual. They was depending on it. Then once they finished school, they was on their devices because they were stuck in the house. There was no really fine motor skills being used. So this is all they're used to. So when it comes to making decisions, where we make most of our decisions in our frontal lobe, it's not developed. There's a delay.
Yeah.
So honestly, my ideal client is those individuals that can't say what's next, or those individuals that say, hey, I made a mistake. I know college is not for me, but I don't know what direction or even how to access the next step. So I need help.
Yeah.
Which is why I pulled in that first and second year.
Yeah.
But mainly too, also those athletes, because I looked at my son the other day. He was trying to teach us this math, this new math, right? Every generation learns some type of new math. And the way that he broke it down, not saying that, son, I could have did that a different way and got done like that, but he broke it down so intricate. It was very detailed. He was like, if you do this one and pull this one down here to the 10th place and the 100th place, and then you add I'm like, son, what the heck are you talking about? But the answer was right. And I said, that is the brain of a surgeon.
That's beautiful.
That is the brain of an individual that can use a robot and perform open heart surgery.
Yeah.
Now, he's great on the football field. He's only 8 years old, and I would love to see him in the field. But I'm not going to waste my time putting you in football and not exposing you to the medical field.
Wow, let's go.
So
I love that.
What I'm doing as a parent is exposing you to both. You're going to be in the best program ever, but you're also going to back that up.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So good.
Yeah.
It, like the work that you're doing, like when you mentioned earlier of not having that adult to be able to guide you and you are that adult that you needed as a child.
Yep.
And I think that is so beautiful to see you stepping into that role and feeling that as your calling, as your purpose in this world. And I love it. And I know that so many people benefit from the work that you do, from the person that you are. So thank you, man.
I appreciate
that's dope, bro.
I really do appreciate that. This week has been an interesting week because I'm on the horizon of something new, and it's just like, wow, when I look at my kids, like I'm looking at them like, wow. It's not jealousy, but it's also that thing in the back of my head is like, man, if I only had the parents that you had. It's like, wow, where would I be? You know, when I look at my kids and I'm like, man, I'm happy for y'all. Like, y'all have some dope parents. I wish my parents was like this. You know, it's emotional because when you just really think about it, like I am. And I never forget the day that I was scared having my son. When my daughter, I knew I could provide her the love. And I tell people this all the time, but when my son was born, I looked at that incubator box, the baby bassinet, whatever, and I just said, wow.
What was different?
I was speechless. And I'm just like I'm talking to you right now. I was like, I don't know if I could do this. But I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, Brandon, you can't run from this because this is your seed regardless. But I said, I know eventually one day there's going to come questions. There's going to come identity. There's going to come so much. Can I really provide that for you? And because I didn't get that, you know, I'm thinking, I don't know, but realizing like, yeah, you didn't get that, but look at who you are. Look where you've come from. It's on the inside of you. Just spill it out. And I'll never forget the day that my son first told me that he wanted to be like me. I broke. I was like, dude, you want to be like me? I just got fired from a job. I was like, you want to be... Son, I just got let go.
Wow.
But he's like, no, I want to be like you. And he's standing in the mirror.
That's beautiful.
Putting his lotion on, and he has dreadlocks, and so he's focused on himself. And so I'm like, wow.
That speaks volumes because as adults and as parents, I'm not a parent, but like as adults, we want to provide for our children. We want to make sure that they have everything. We want to make sure that our lives are tight and buttoned up. And that is what matters to us. But in that moment, he didn't give a damn about that. He saw my dad is a dope dad. And I love him and he loves me and I want to be like him. Like that is so huge. Oh man, that's so sweet.
It's like this reel that's going around and the voiceover said the greatest thing that my dad could have ever did was come home.
You gonna make me cry.
Dude, I tell you now, I feel it's like the greatest thing that my dad ever do. And I think about that every day I pull into the driveway. Not that I don't want to come home. I hate this, what I'm feeling right now.
What is it? What do you feel? What do you feel?
Really, it's like, man, we don't make it home. Not all. The reality of a black man in this world making it home is very, very low. So when I pull in my driveway and when I have the ability to press my garage open and it opens, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, whew, wow. It's like taking the superhero cape off. And when I first heard that reel, I was like, oh, that sounds good. But when you live in it, and then you're greeted by 4 little feet, man, your wife is at the door, then your dogs are chasing you. It's like, wow, okay. That's it doesn't matter what happens else or what happened in this day.
That's beautiful.
Like this is what matters the most when it's all said and done. And I think about that often when I look at my kids in their eyes. It's like, man, I love you so much. I would do whatever I can.
Yeah. Man, you got me emotional over here. Like for real. Cause like, I don't know, people ain't heard all of my stories. So like my pops was, let's see, before I was 8, he was not present mostly in my life. He was in the streets, and this is gonna be hard to talk about. And that's crazy. I talk about this all the time.
Talk about it.
But like at 8, he went to prison. And talk about like the school to prison pipeline. Like, I mean, he was getting suspended early on, and that defined him, and he was defined as a bad student, and he got shipped from this school to that school, and I think probably got kicked out of most schools in Metro, in East Nashville at least, and then went to prison. And at 8, I'm like, I want you in my life. I need you in my life. I long for that. And I know the reality that created for me of this this fear of abandonment, this fear of rejection even, and seeking love in all kind of forms that wasn't real love, but it was chasing that. And so to hear you talk about like the father coming home, and even today, like not being a parent, but coming home and looking in my rearview mirror going, yes. Like, bro, I'm so emotional right now. I'm so emotional
It's
right
so
now.
real.
Dang.
It's so real.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
It's so real. I think about it all the time, you know, with my mom and my dad. I didn't meet my dad until I was 24. And even when I met him, I was like, I could have went the rest of my life without meeting him.
Ooh. What was that meeting like?
It was, nothing changed. Nothing was different. It was accusatory. It was
Towards you?
towards my mom.
Oh, okay.
It was, you're still an addict. So, you know, the reality of actually having a son, really meeting your son is, I don't know if you really are a parent. Then I have my 2 kids, and do I really want my kids around this? It's like being able to provide. One of the biggest struggles that I had growing up was like, or not growing up, having my kids was like, who are going to be the grandparents that I introduced my kids to. My great grandmother already passed, so that's my foster mother. And then my mom, you know, she's cool. Like, we have a really good relationship. But what about my son? He's looking for a grandfather, you know, and unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but fortunately, he only has my wife's father to look after. But of course, he asked me, who's your dad?
Yeah.
And when he asked me that question, dog, I'm like, what? I don't know how to explain this.
How do you explain it? Do you keep it real with him?
Now he knows. So they were they were with me on the journey of meeting my dad.
Wow.
And I don't think they fully grasped the concept at that time, but they now know. Like, okay, you know, we know what adoption means. We know what family adoption means. We know what this is. So, okay.
Wow.
And the questions don't arise anymore. And I think as they get older, they may have more, which is right because it's the development aspect. But now I think they're at a very sure place because, like I said, it's me. Yeah. It's not, they're not missing anything. Right. And that is the reality that I have had to come to terms with is, Brandon, your kids are not missing nothing.
Nah. Yeah.
They're not missing nothing. And so when you really realize, it's like, I can let that go. Yeah. I can really heal from that. I can really tell the inner Brandon, the little Brandon in me, you good now.
I love that. I love that. Oh.
It's been plenty of days I had to look in the mirror and just say, you are good.
I love it.
Go sit down. Go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know,
man,
go play.
Yeah,
go have
play.
Fun.
Yes.
And
oh man,
it's giving yourself permission to just be healed.
Yeah, yeah.
And I struggled many years with that. You know, and just realizing like people are going to be people. Your family's going to be your family, chosen or not. Friends are going to be your friends, chosen or not. But you and this family that you do have, that's your focus. Laser focus. Hone in on them. Everything else, it's going to do what it do.
Man, I am so proud of you. I'm proud of the father that you are. I'm proud of the educational consultant that you are and what you do for students, for people, and the leadership that you display on a regular basis, man. It is powerful. And most importantly, I'm proud of the man that you are. For real, man. Like you do it well. Keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. Before we get out of here, because I mean we could talk, and I know we done got on some icebergs of some things that could go for hours and days, but I got another segment, just fill in the blank.
Okay.
All right. So vulnerability makes me feel blank.
Safe when it's with the right person.
Absolutely. That's so important. That's so important. Man, my biggest superpower is blank.
Providing people safe spaces.
Let's go.
Yep. Everybody that knows me knows Brandon is the man to talk to. He's going to always have something to say, or he's going to provide you that space to just be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have no judging bone in my body.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing something to harm yourself or others.
Yeah. And it's not judgment. It's trying to get you to safety.
Like,
yeah.
I don't want you to kill me, dude.
Man. Oh, man. If I could tell my younger self, and you said something earlier, but I want you to dig a little deeper. If I could tell my younger self anything, it would be, Brandon.
Oh, man, you good. And you gonna be good.
You good, bro.
Oh, I can't stand you, Reggie.
Good, bro. You are good. You're more than good. You're great.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You're worthy.
Yeah.
You're meant to be right here.
Yeah.
You're meant to be right here. Right? If you had different parents, if you had a different upbringing, you wouldn't be the man sitting in front of me right here. And I am proud of the man that's sitting in front of me right here. Your journey has been what it needed to be for them kids to get the dad that they needed to have. I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
When I need inspiration, I turn to blank.
The Bible, of course, but I also go back to a picture in my phone of my grandmother. And I just imagine that she was talking to me, what she would say.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to send you a picture of my grandma, too, because that's something that's near and dear to me as well. So, man. Dr. Haskins. Brandon P. Haskins.
Man, I can't.
Man, this has been
I was holding back those tears for a long time.
Well, no, this is a vulnerability muscle. You got to flex that. Yeah. So, are there any final words that you want to leave the audience? Anything that you want to say? Anything you want to get off your chest? Anything like that?
We're in I will say, man, we are really in a very interesting time, day and age. My granny used to say, we're in a very interesting day and age. And we have to really think through everything. Don't box people in. Don't box your kids in. Give them the opportunity and space, the safe space to just be and tell you who they are, and then provide them the direction and the exposure so that they can live a profitable life. I think so many times we rely, this is not the day and age where we can rely on things to feed us or to influence our kids. We can't. We have to be proactive in everything that we do as parents, as grandparents, as aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins. If we're going to raise the next generation of leaders, we have to be proactive in their development. We have to get ahead of it. We cannot rely on the systems. We cannot rely on underfunded. It's going to stay. Newsflash. School systems is going to always be underfunded, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we have to be proactive in the ways that we develop our kids. Put them in the programs that we want to see them grow and thrive in. Introduce them to the career fields that we desire for them and let them make a decision. But don't just sit back and just say, hey, I'm gonna wait till the Department of Education gets back intact and then, because what if that never happens?
Yeah.
And what we don't realize is that the reason why there are private schools and there's charter schools is because there's a network of people who have adopted this mentality and said, you know what, despite the hell and chaos that's happening in the world, I'm going to get ahead of it and I'm going to be proactive about this. And the time is now.
Yes, the time is now. The time is now. I'm so blessed for this opportunity to sit down with you.
I am too, bro.
It's been over 2 years. It's been 2 years, and we man.
It feels like just yesterday we met.
It does, man. And I'm thankful for you and your life and your life's work. And so keep doing it, man. Branded Consulting, y'all reach out. How can people get in contact with you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, right now, Dr. Haskins on Instagram, DOCTA, HASKINS, like a bag of skins, the Haskins. Right? Y'all never had skins?
Like pork rinds?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how. So I used to be a science teacher.
Spit it like a DJ though.
Yeah.
See, that's the radio in you. He's just like.
And I used to be a science teacher, so that's how I got the kids to pronounce my name right. But Dr. Haskins on Instagram, branded_consulting on Instagram as well. But be on the lookout. There's a lot of great things happening right now. So.
Absolutely. Well, man, Dr. Haskins, my brother, it has been a pleasure with all the things that you could be doing and all the places you could be. I appreciate you being here with me, embracing vulnerability.
I thank you for the opportunity, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in another episode of Vulnerability Muscle. If you've enjoyed these conversations around vulnerability, please consider leaving a review. Your feedback not only motivates us to continue to do the work that we do, but it allows other people to witness the power of vulnerability. Share your thoughts on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or wherever you're listening from. And don't forget to spread the word. You can follow us at Vulnerability Muscle on Instagram and me personally at Reggie D Ford across all platforms. Visit vulnerabilitymuscle.com for additional resources and support. And remember, embracing vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is the source of your greatest strength. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but most workouts are. So keep flexing that vulnerability muscle.